All right. Hello, everybody. I hope we are all having a wonderful day and a wonderful evening thus far. Thank you all for joining today for this presentation or session on the University of Calgary. And I hope we all leave this session today with a lot of information as well as expectations and excitement towards studying at the university, starting your studies at the University of Calgary. I am Carly, and I am the Student Recruitment Advisor at the University of Calgary, and I'm just super excited to be here and to be able to share all this information with all of you, as well as my own university experience from being a University of Calgary graduate myself. Thank you all again, and there will be a Q&A session at the end. If you have any questions throughout today's session, feel free to reach out, send a message over into the chat box. And throughout the session today, I will also be sending some useful links for you to have handy for you to refer to as well after the session. I'm just going to open up the chat box so I have that ready to go. Awesome. So without further ado, let's get started. Before though, can everyone hear and see me perfectly? I'm just going to start a poll here to see if everyone can see and hear me in case there's any technical difficulties. Awesome. So it seems like we're good to go here. Awesome. No no's. Okay, cool. Just continuing on. I want to first start off by acknowledging the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy comprising of the Siksika, the Piikani, and the Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda. This is especially important to just acknowledge the land that our university is located on, as well as the land that I personally conducted all my studies on as well, and pay my respects as our land is a land of First Nations people, and we are simply borrowing it. So I would just like to start my presentations with this quick acknowledgement. But diving in here, I wanted to first start off as well with a link to our Canadian Students View Book. As you're all coming from Manitoba, you'll be looking at the view book on the left. If you do not have your cell phone handy, or maybe it's out of battery, I will provide the link to the view book in the chat box there for you to refer to. The view book is an amazing resource to have handy, as it contains a lot of information about your university, ranging from student life to faculties and program admission requirements. So definitely all of the information that I will be mentioning throughout today's session is information you can find in the view book. So again, just a wonderful resource to have handy for you to refer to after the presentation as well. But just jumping in here, as you are all from Manitoba, you might have heard of Alberta before or are familiar with what Alberta is all about. But University of Calgary is located within the city of Calgary that is located within Alberta. If you are not familiar, maybe you recently moved to Manitoba, but Alberta is a province just between British Columbia and Saskatchewan, and we are home to the beautiful Rocky Mountains that you can see on the slide there. And there's a lot of perks that comes with being home to beautiful Rocky Mountains, such as having 5 national parks, as well as abundance of major ski resorts as well. So there are definitely a lot of activities you can participate in out in the beautiful Rocky Mountains throughout the year. in any season, really. But one thing to highlight here is that Alberta's cost of living is relatively cheaper compared to other provinces, and this is due to having no provincial sales tax, as well as one of the highest minimum wages in all of the country. So as a student, when you're here in Calgary, which is in Alberta, if you're looking to work part-time during your studies or internships, you can definitely expect to get more value for your dollar here. And a lot of items will be relatively cheaper as well. But just jumping into Calgary, of course, Calgary is an exciting city to live and study in, and we are located just on the southern half of Alberta, if you're not familiar with Calgary is. Calgary is definitely a city to think about living and studying in, as we are the #1 most livable city in all of North America. I personally have been in Calgary for the past 13 years. I completed my entire undergraduate studies here, as well as high school and middle school. So I do have a lot of experiences within the city to share if you are curious about the city, whether it is restaurants, activities, or just what the city is like. But I have to say that my #1 favorite part about the city is the fact that we are Canada's sunniest major city with 333 sunny days per year. What this really means is that you will be able to participate in a lot of activities out in the city, such as dining at 9 of the top 100 restaurants in all of Canada, biking along our North America's most extensive bikeway network or pathway network. You can also go rafting down the Bow River that you see just on the bottom of the picture there. There's also a lot of social events, and you can do all of this with a clear blue skies. So that is very exciting. And one aspect that is very important as well that comes with having wonderful climate as well as clear blue skies is all the activities that you can do out in the beautiful Rocky Mountains. A lot of people tend to think that if you're in the mountains, it's going to be gloomy, it's going to be snowing all the time, but you can definitely camp, hike, canoe, kayak, ski, and snowboard throughout the year with a bright sun in the sky as well as clear blue sky. So definitely a lot of opportunities for that. And I would really encourage it as well, as it is as both Calgary and Alberta really blend together the urban city life as well as the outdoors. And it's a great way to utilize all of that as a student. But in terms of employment, there are a lot of opportunities within the city for employment, whether it is students like you, recent graduates like me, or professionals within various industries. And this is because Calgary is a young, vibrant, and ever-growing city. We have the highest concentration of high-tech workers in Canada, and we are #2 in the country for having the most small businesses. So a lot of businesses within Calgary are small businesses. A lot of students at the University of Calgary end up starting these small businesses within the city. So there are a lot of opportunities here for you to start something of your own. So definitely something you can look forward to. But jumping into the University of Calgary specifically, our institution is the 6th top research university in the whole country, and we are a top entrepreneurial university as well. What this really means is that we have a lot of sponsorship that goes towards funding various research areas, whether it is in the science space, medical space, or business or arts. There's definitely a lot of research areas you can dive into, or maybe you can start. There's also resources for you to start a research topic of your own as well. And we also have a lot of professors who are experts within various research areas that teach all of these different courses here at the University of Calgary. So you will be able to take courses in really specific topics. As for example, one course that I studied was Japanese video games, and my professor was conducting extensive research within Japanese video games, which is a field that he's very passionate about. So just a sneak peek into the different course topics that you can expect to take that stem from the different research areas from our various professors. But on the opposite side of research, or kind of opposite but closely linked, is innovation. And as a top entrepreneurial university, we have had over 390 new innovations since 2017. And this number is only continuing to grow as more students and more professors, more of a campus community, bring all of their ideas to life. And we have a lot of resources on campus to help that. For example, we have the Hunter Hub for entrepreneurial thinking here on campus that really focuses on helping students bring their ideas to life and kind of connect you with industry professionals as well as fellow classmates in order to really create a close-knit team for you to help develop and bring your idea into action. So definitely a lot of opportunities for growth and opportunities for innovation here at the University of Calgary. But another key thing to note is that at the University of Calgary, we have over 28,000 undergraduate students, and 14% of those students are international students. So you will be able to meet a lot of students here from Calgary, from Manitoba, from different cities within Canada, as well as different students from different countries all around the world. Our campus is very global with 155 different countries represented. So there are a lot of opportunities for you to learn different cultures, learn different languages, and just to meet other students from different quadrants of the globe. And this next slide here will give you a view of our main university campus. You'll be spending a lot of your time here on campus, so it's very important to know what the campus life is like. As you can see, our campus is quite large, but we are very close with nature. There's a lot of green spaces, a lot of greenery, just to really maintain that balance between outdoor and urban. But just to put things into perspective, it can take around 10 to 15 minutes to walk from the residence building on the top of the map all the way to the transit station on the far left, just so you have an idea of how big our campus is. But during the colder months, you don't have to worry about going outside, as a lot of our buildings are connected through indoor tunnels and bridges just to shield you from those cold airs in the winter months and the winter season. We also have a dental clinic, a medical office, a pharmacy, and even a hair salon on campus for you to utilize as a student, as our campus is kind of like a small town within itself here. Surrounding the campus are also various areas for you to adventure between classes or after classes by yourself or with some friends. For example, we do have the Market Mall that is very close to campus. It's only around a 10-minute bus ride from campus. We also have a lot of e-scooters lately if you would rather scooter instead. So it's very convenient to access. There's a lot of cafes, a lot of restaurants around campus that you don't see on the map as well. I myself spent about half of my time on campus and half of my time around campus as a student just because of how many places there are and how where our university is located, as our university is quite central and it is located within the city of Calgary. And one key note to point out as well is that as a student, you will be able to access the transit system here within the city unlimitedly with your university pass. And this pass is included within your school fees. So you don't have to pay on a daily or monthly. And with that little sticker on your university card, you will be able to get from point A to point B from anywhere within the city. So definitely a lot of opportunities for you to kind of adventure around with your friends or by yourself outside of class times on the weekends, anytime that you would like. But jumping into campus life here, as you are all coming from Manitoba, you may be looking into staying on campus if you don't have relatives staying in Calgary or if you are not looking at apartments. And I really recommend looking into staying on campus, as it is incredibly convenient. We offer residence to students from everywhere, so you will be able to meet some international students along with students from Calgary or from Canada. One key point to note is if you apply by the May 1st deadline of your first and your second year of studies, you will be given a 2-year residence guarantee, and this guarantees you a room on campus for the first 2 years of your studies. So I'll save you the headache of finding anywhere to stay for just those 2 years, as the first 2 years of undergraduate studies tends to be the most hectic for a lot of students. But if you do decide to stay on campus, first-year students are required to sign up for the meal plan, but you have a choice between a 5-day or a 7-day meal plan. And this is incredibly beneficial as it will save you a lot of headache that comes with cooking, grocery shopping, planning your meals in general, and you'll be having your meals over at the dining center that you see just on a slide there. There's a little picture, the third picture. A good way to picture our dining center is sort of like a buffet style, where you can swipe your university card, you walk in, you look around, you see what you want to eat, and you just start grabbing them. So it's very simple, very easy. And there are also a lot of dietary restriction options, a lot of halal, a lot of vegetarian, depending on any dietary restrictions that you may have. So definitely we are always looking to increase our offerings at the University of Calgary Dining Center just to make sure that all students are able to have their meals here conveniently. So definitely, I would really encourage y'all to have a look into stay on campus. And it is incredibly beneficial. It is not only super convenient, it will also allow you to meet a lot of different students outside of classes. And you can also just wake up 5 minutes before classes, which is a great perk. So you don't have to really think about commute as well. Outside of classes and residents, we also have over 300 different school clubs for you to join to meet other students with similar passions, backgrounds, or interests as you. We do have a lot of clubs, and these clubs can range from areas of hobbies such as skiing, photography, singing, dancing, or snowboarding. So those are hobbies, to interest areas such as coffee, K-pop, anime, Smash Bros, and we even have a sandwich club. We do have a lot of clubs on campus for you to join to be other students that have the same interest or hobby as you. But if there is not a club for something that you're interested in, maybe you're interested in a topic that is very niche, we also welcome students to create a club of their own. Throughout my 4.5 years at the University of Calgary, there was not a single year where I did not participate in a school club. And I can say that a lot of my closest friends to this day are friends that I met through joining those school clubs. So I would really recommend you all to look into joining a school club, regardless of where you attend your post-secondary studies. And it is an amazing way to maximize your university experience. Just in the chat box there, I want to provide 2 links, which is our residents as well as our Find Our Clubs page. Yeah, there we go. Our residents page will give you more information about residents, the different rooms on campus, the different prices if you're looking into that. And the Find Your Club page lists all the different clubs available at the University of Calgary for you to just have a look into before starting your studies, so you can get a little bit more excited about all the opportunities here. But if you are interested in joining a varsity team, for example, if you are really into competitive sports, maybe you're already part of some competitive teams, you can definitely look into joining the varsity teams at the University of Calgary. The teams at the University of Calgary are called the Dinos, and they compete with different teams from different universities across the country. So definitely a lot of different opportunities for you to join different competitive games there. As you can see on the slide, there are a lot of different topics or sports or activities that are we have Dinos teams for. And if you're interested in this, I would really encourage you to go online to godinos.com, reach out to the coach for the specific sport that you are interested in to inquire on tryouts, eligibility, or just what it takes. From my understanding, you will be required to kind of send them a video of you doing that sport and some statistics as well, just for them to see how good you are before you join the athletic team. But if you want further information about that, definitely do reach out to the coach, and as they will be happy to help you in that aspect. But if you are the type that likes to stay active on a more personal level, either by yourself or with some close personal friends, there are also many ways for you to do so. Access to all of the amenities that you see on the slide there are included within your school fees, so you don't have to worry about paying every time you want to go work out at the fitness center, every time you want to go swimming at the aquatic center, or every time you want to go skating at the Olympic Oval. But one cool fact about Olympic Oval is that it is home to the fastest ice in the world due to how many world records were beaten there. So you will be able to meet some athletes from different countries around the world, as a lot of athletes do come to the University of Calgary to utilize our amenities here. And I myself, I was able to meet a couple of athletes from Norway, so that was really exciting and just something that you can expect. But of course, the University of Calgary is located just 1 hour away from the beautiful Rocky Mountains, And with that comes a lot of opportunities for you to partake in some mountain activities such as skiing, snowboarding, snowshoeing, kayaking, and more. But you can rent equipment from our outdoor center, which is the largest of its kind in North America. This is incredibly beneficial as you can try out different sports and different activities without having to commit to buying a full set of equipment just yet, as you might not know whether you like to snowboard or not until you try it out, which is my case. So definitely really beneficial as there are a lot of equipment you can rent, and as a student you get a lot of discounts as well. So as you can see, there are definitely a lot of different ways for you to stay connected with the campus community outside of studying or attending classes, whether it is through school clubs, residents, sports teams, or many amenities. And we really do encourage students to maintain a well-balanced lifestyle outside of academics in order to really focus on your success here as a student, as well as maximizing your university experience. And we are here to support you every step of the way throughout your journey with us. And that is why we have a lot of supports on campus for students like you. University is, of course, this huge new step in your life. And although it can be an exciting brand new journey, it can also come with some hardships as well. And at the University of Calgary, we are committed to ensuring students like you are being well supported throughout your university experience and receive the support that you need in order to really excel. As you can see, there are a lot of different resources and supports on campus depending on the specific area that you are looking for just some more guidance in. For example, I utilize the Student Success Center a lot in my first and second year of my studies, as I found the first and second years to be a little bit challenging between a transition from high school to university. And this is when I utilize the writing support to really get that extra input on all of my essays, as well as the peer-led study sessions that further enhanced my understanding of course materials. Just a sneak peek into the peer-led study sessions. These sessions are led by students who have completed the class that you're currently taking in the past. So you can assure that you are receiving these extra study sessions from students that have succeeded, and they will also be able to offer some additional tips and tricks to further support you in the course as well. So definitely a great perk as a student is all of these different peer-led study sessions. And I can say that because of these sessions, I was able to excel in my first year, second year studies. On the opposite side of that, we do have career services as well to help ease the stress that comes with job hunting during or after your degree, whether you are looking for co-op or internship opportunities that require interview prepping, or student wellness services, who is really here to help you maintain a healthy mental mindset as well as mental health. And they also organize a lot of activities for you to kind of maintain your mental well-being as well. So definitely a lot of different supports on campus. I do encourage you to reach out to any of these supports or services throughout your time here if you experience any challenges, as we are always looking for ways to increase the support offered on campus for students. And we really want to focus on supporting you not only during your time as a University of Calgary student, but also in setting you up for success after graduating as well. But another way to maximize your university experience at the University of Calgary is through studying, working, or volunteering abroad. I'm sure that many of you love to study, love to travel, and are excited to potentially see the world again post-pandemic, because I know that I am. But what if I told you that you can complete University of Calgary courses and pay University of Calgary tuition and fees, and the only thing that will be different is where your classroom will be? So this is exactly what studying abroad looks like. During my 4.5 years at the University of Calgary, I spent 2 months volunteering in Taiwan and 1 month studying in Japan. And I can definitely say that during my study abroad experience, I was able to basically copy and paste what I am currently doing, but just into a different country where the same professors, for example, I went through a group study. So it was all the same professors and the same group of students from my program. But the only thing that's different that I am now participating in these field trips to popular Japanese companies, as well as spending my after class times in Shibuya or different popular sightseeing destinations within Japan. So definitely unforgettable memories were created, and they also gave me stories to share with other students, with my colleagues, as well as with potential employers as well. So I would really encourage you all to look into studying, working, or volunteering abroad, as these are all great ways for you to see the world and to travel without prolonging your degree, as I don't think there's a single person that doesn't like to travel. Maybe I'm wrong. But it is also a great way for you to spice up your university experience and to add a little something to your resume for you to share as you are looking for jobs as well. But another way for you to, again, add a little bit of something into university degree is by participating in the many work integrated learning opportunities at the University of Calgary. Depending on the program or faculty that you're interested in, these opportunities can look a little bit different, ranging from consulting projects, co-ops and internship placements to practicums and paid research opportunities. So definitely a lot of opportunities across the board, but just depending on your faculty, there are different opportunities available for you. This is a great way for you to just see what it's like to work in the field that you're interested in. And this would also give you the chance to see whether the career path that you're pursuing is the right one for you. Again, these opportunities will allow you to gain some professional experience to really support you in your career after graduating, as well as support you in finding those jobs and increase the competitiveness and just to fill up your resume as well. Before I dive into the more specific information regarding faculties, programs, and admission requirements, I do want to welcome you to have a look at some of the upcoming events we have lined up for students like you, as well as maybe look into signing up for a campus tour. The campus tour is incredible. It will give you a look into what our university looks like, so you can start picturing yourself as a University of Calgary student. As you are all in Manitoba, it might be difficult to come all the way here for a campus tour, but do not worry. My colleague also provides a lot of extensive virtual tours, so you can travel through the University of Calgary campus from the comfort of your own home. So I do really want to recommend you all to have a look, as the presentation today provides a brief overview of University of Calgary, but the upcoming events and campus tour will dive into different topics more specifically. For example, we have faculty information nights for each of our faculties. We also have awards information nights, an application walkthrough session. So definitely a lot to keep your eyes on as you think about applying to University of Calgary. We're just diving into the more specifics here. At the University of Calgary, we do have a lot of different faculties, and amongst these main 8 faculties here, there are over 250 different programs for you to choose from, and combinations if you are looking to complete any combined degrees, dual degrees, or minor programs. There are many ways for you to customize your degree here. I will be kind of going over each of the faculties in the next few slides here, but I won't be listing each program in specific, as there are too many programs for me to list. But I do encourage you all to have a look at our view book to see all of the programs offered at the University of Calgary, as well as the admission requirements. But another amazing resource is our Explore Programs page, as each program has its own program page that details further information such as career prospects, first-year degree guide, look into the courses that you'll be taking, as well as admission requirements. So definitely very helpful resources here to have a look at the programs would be our viewbook and Explore Programs page. But as mentioned, we do have a lot of faculties at the University of Calgary. For example, we have the Faculty of Arts, which is the largest faculty here at the University of Calgary. There are a lot of different programs, as well as different bachelor degrees, depending on the specific area that you're interested in. We have the Haskayne School of Business. The faculty I personally graduated from. I graduated from International Business Strategy, that you see on the list there. So definitely I have a lot to share if you're interested in business. But Haskins School of Business is also home to a competitive co-op program for you to gain some real-world experience working for a corporation within the city or anywhere within the country or world. Next to that, we have the Faculty of Science, home to a lot of different field study opportunities, a lot of lab opportunities, as well as research if you're interested in any of the topics under our Faculty of Science. We have the Cummings School of Medicine, which is a great stepping stone towards a future studies in medicine. Just a word of caution is that our Cummings School of Medicine is not a pre-med program, but it does provide a solid foundation for future studies within medicine, along with our Faculty of Science programs as well. And we have our Faculty of Nursing, home to our Bachelor of Nursing, our nursing program, which is one of the top nursing programs within the country. We have the Workland School of Education that has a variety of different pathways available depending on the kind of teacher you wish to become. We also have the 4-year or the 5-year combined, whether you want to graduate with 1 or 2 degrees. We have the School of Engineering that has a lot of different concentrations, as well as lab opportunity, a lot of research, a lot of cool engineering competitions and student clubs under the Faculty of Engineering as well. One thing to note about engineering is that all students do complete a common first year before diving into their concentration in their second year. And this is just to provide you all with a solid understanding of the programs, as well as some background information before you dive into selecting the different concentrations in your second year. And lastly, we have the Faculty of Kinesiology, which is the #1 faculty in all of North America. And kinesiology is a study of sports science, of sports medicine. One cool research area is we are currently working with Nike to develop some shoes. So definitely an interesting aspect if you are looking into the kinesiology. But as mentioned, and as you can see, there are definitely a lot of programs available at the University of Calgary. And I would recommend looking into a review book or sport programs page to dive into each program in specific. If you are unsure about what program you are interested in, or if you already have a couple that you're interested in, also recommend having a look just to see if it is offered here or if there is something similar that you may be interested in. But after you have had a look at all of the different programs available and you have 1 or 2 programs in mind, or maybe you already have some programs that you wish to study in mind, your next step would, of course, be to look at the different admission requirements just to make sure that you will be able to be admitted into the program that you wish to study. Admission into University of Calgary is competitive, and it is based on 5 faculty-specific grade 12 high school subjects. And then we use those 5 courses to calculate your competitive admission average, which must then meet the admission average of your desired program. So a good way to think about all of the admission requirements is 3 key points. Number 1, we will see whether you have completed the 5 faculty-specific grade 12 high school subjects. Second, we will have to see whether you meet the program's competitive admission average. And lastly, all students must demonstrate English language proficiency. All of these can look a little bit different depending on the curriculums you're completing, whether you completed 3 years of studies in Manitoba, maybe you transferred from a different country. So all is really dependent on your own academic history. So you have any doubts at all, or maybe your academic history strives away from the usual, I really recommend reaching out to us. My contact information can be found at the last slide, and I'll be providing. Reach out to us with your academic history, and we'll be able to support you more specifically based off of all your studies, the classes you're completing, whether you're completing IB, so definitely all those different pieces here. And as mentioned, each program has 5 specific grade 12 high school subjects that you must have completed. On this slide, you can see the provincial equivalence between the Alberta curriculum and the Manitoba curriculum. So we'll be looking to see whether you have completed the required courses on the 40S level. And if you ever see the Alberta curriculum, such as 30 or 30-1, just know in mind that it is equivalent to the Manitoba system of 40S. And you can also find this table in our view book as well for you to refer to when you're looking through the admission requirements. But our different program pages has a little filter system that for you to select your Manitoba curriculum, and it will spit out all of the admission requirements specific to you as a Manitoba student as well. So it's very accessible, very simple, but if you do hit any bumps along the way, please do let us know. I just want to provide a quick example here. If you are interested in computer science, the 5 courses that you will need to have completed include English, mathematics, 2 sciences, as well as an additional course or option. And the last additional course option can range from history, social studies, geography, and etc., depending on what you're completing. And we will use those 5 courses to calculate your admission average, and it must meet the competitive average of high 80s. So this is just computer science using this program for an example. If you're interested in engineering, it will look different. Engineering is very specific. The 5 courses are English, mathematics, chemistry, physics, as well as calculus. And there's not a lot of options there. And the average is also high 80s if you're looking for engineering, but definitely encourage you all to have a look into our view book or explore programs page to view the specific requirements for your desired program. But after you have had a look at the different programs offered at the University of Calgary, at the different admission requirements, and you're sure that, yes, you do meet all the admission requirements, what do I do now? The next step would, of course, be to apply to the University of Calgary. The application is very simple, and you can apply directly on our website. I will paste the link there for you. When you are applying, you will be able to apply for 2 programs, a first and a second choice program. I would recommend your second choice program to have lower admission requirements, just in case that you're not admissible into your first choice program. And this is because if we evaluate you for your first choice program and you're not admissible, maybe you are missing a course, maybe your average is just not high enough, we would automatically evaluate you for your second choice. And that is why I would recommend for your second choice just to have lower admission requirements, just to increase your chances of being admitted into the University of Calgary. Another key note here is that applications have officially opened for fall 2022, which is the semester that starts September of next year. Definitely, I would really recommend applying as soon as possible if you're in grade 12. If you're grade 11, welcome. And these dates won't change won't change from each year. But instead of applying right now, you'll be applying October 1st of next year, as applications open October 1st of every year. But this would be the same if you're currently in grade 12, you're looking for a gap year as well, just to keep in mind. And I'll also be providing all of these dates in the next couple of slides here. But definitely always important for you to apply as early as possible. I would recommend applying this month, and I will mention why. But if you apply early enough, we'll be able to assess you for an early evaluation using your grade 11 grades and 4 of the required courses. And if you are not admissible based off your grade 11 grades, then we will wait for your grade 12 grades to reevaluate you. So if you apply early enough, that just allows enough time for another evaluation to be conducted. So there are no cons, only benefits and positives here. But after you have submitted an application on our website, you will gain access to your student center, where you will be able to upload all of the documents that are needed to support your evaluation. We actually provide all students with a to-do list on your student center, listing all of the documents that you must provide. So it's very straightforward, very easy, and you can upload all your documents directly through your to-do list. But it is important that you upload all of your documents as early as possible, as an evaluation cannot be conducted until of all of your documents have been submitted. So just something to keep in mind there. So the sooner you upload all your documents, the sooner an evaluation can be conducted. But throughout this entire process here, it is important that you keep an eye on your student center as well as on your email for any important updates regarding your application, as our admissions team will be reaching out to you via those two channels if there are any hindrances regarding your application, if there's anything holding your file back from evaluation, or if they are requiring any additional documents, they will be reaching out to you via your student center as well as your email. So very important you keep an eye on those two. And you can find this entire process, just a step-by-step as well as checklist inside our view book for you to have handy as you start applying here all the way up until you are enrolled as official University of Calgary student. But after you have applied, after you have submitted all of the documents that are needed, your next step would be to apply for the different awards available for incoming high school students. There are three main types of awards that you can see on the slide there. Our first category, starting from the right, is Prestige Awards. This award type is our highest value scholarships that range up to $25,000 per award, and a lot of them can be renewed for each year of your studies as well. And you can apply directly through your student center, but the application will consist of some short answer essay questions just for us to understand you a little bit better, just for you to kind of share your achievements as well as why you should be awarded prestige awards. But because the entire process is a little bit longer, the deadline to apply is December 1st. So I would recommend applying for admissions soon here if you have not yet, to allow enough time for you to submit all of your documents and for you to apply for prestige awards before the December 1st deadline, as the application can be a little bit long. If you're looking to maximize all of the awards available for incoming high school students. But next to that is High School Entrance Awards. High School Entrance Awards is another award you can apply for directly through your student center, and application is very simple, just a series of yes or no. And depending on information you have filled out, you can be assessed for over 100 different high school awards that range from $500 to $10,000. And the deadline to apply for High School Entrance Awards is March 1st, which is also the application deadline. But next to that, then the last award type is automatic awards. Automatic awards do not have a formal application that you need to fill out. There's nothing you have to do as a student on your part. Automatic awards are automatically awarded based off of your calculated admission average. For example, we have the President's Admission Scholarship valued at $5,000 and is awarded automatically for students with an admission average of 95% or higher. So as mentioned, your admission average will be calculated using those 5 specific faculty courses. And if we see that your average is 95% or higher, the President's Admission Scholarship will be automatically awarded. So definitely super easy. And in order to create enough time for you to apply to all of these awards, I would recommend applying for admissions early. And you do not actually need to wait for an offer to be made before you can apply for awards. So definitely, I normally encourage students to apply for awards after they have submitted all of their documents and while they're waiting for a decision. It is a great usage of the time then, and just to make sure that you're not falling behind in any awards deadlines as well. Next here, I want to touch on tuition as fees, and as you may be curious about what costs could look like as a University of Calgary student. Based off of all the numbers on the slide, you are looking at around $20,000 per year if you are to live on campus, have a meal plan, and this includes tuition, fees, everything they could possibly think of, such including pens, notebooks as well. And of course, this number can vary, or all of these numbers can vary depending on the faculty you wish to study, whether you decide to live on residence, whether you decide to buy textbooks or not. It's definitely a lot of variation here. I did find a lot of the textbooks required online. There's a lot of PDF versions. We also have a wonderful used bookstore as well. So there are a lot of ways for you to minimize your costs as a student. But I do want to highlight that included your fees, as mentioned, is the university transit pass that will allow you to get anywhere within the city as a student. So you don't have to pay for a monthly transit pass. And it also includes your access to amenities on campus. And our tuition is relatively cheaper compared to other institutions in the country. So just another piece to keep in mind. But to support you in financing your studies, there are many awards, as mentioned previously, for you to just gain some extra funding towards your studies, as well as the opportunity for you to work part-time and apply for student loans. I myself, I worked part-time throughout my entire studies. Looking back, I don't think there was a period of my undergraduate studies where I did not participate in a school club and I did not work part-time. And I wouldn't change anything because it allowed me to really decrease the financial burden as a student. And I would recommend it if you are able to support it. But of course, academics and well-being comes first. But I do want to recommend utilizing the cost estimator on the slide, if you have your phones available, to more accurately estimate your costs. The cost of your first year studies based on your selections regarding faculty and residents. I will also provide a link in the chat box as well for our cost estimator. And I missed it earlier, but I also have a link for awards for you to just look into awards further. The link for awards will really lead you to our overall awards webpage with all the different types of information about awards, whether it's incoming high school student awards or continuing awards. So definitely would recommend it there. As I conclude here, I do want to provide a list of all the important dates coming up for you to keep in mind. As mentioned, applications have opened as of October 1st of this year, and they will close March 1st. And I do want to encourage you again to apply as early as possible. Do not be afraid of applying. You are not setting your decisions in stone just yet. You will have up until March 1st to make any changes regarding application. For example, if you filled out your academic history wrong on your application, you will be able to change that. You also be able to change program choices. For example, if you are interested in psychology now, but maybe in the new year, you're more inclined towards sociology, you will be able to make those changes on your student center regarding your programs up until March 1st. So don't be worried about applying. Applying early will just give you a head start in this entire process, and it will make sure that it gives you enough time to kind of troubleshoot any difficulties or challenges that may arise, as well allow enough time for evaluation to be conducted and for you to receive an offer to kickstart your journey here at the University of Calgary. You can find all of these dates in our view book as mentioned, as well as on our website, just to keep handy. And we'll also be sending emails periodically to remind you of upcoming deadlines as well. With that, I do want to conclude today's session. Thank you all for joining today's session on the University of Calgary. I hope you all found it informative and helpful in kind of picturing yourself as a University of Calgary student, as well as seeing what studying here could look like for you. But I do welcome you all to connect with me via email or WhatsApp, or through our various social media channels. Our social media channels are great ways to kind of dive deeper into what your student life could look like. For example, our podcast connects students together, and you'll be able to hear firsthand from a student what studying at the University of Calgary is like, as well as important information about their specific faculty that they are studying in. So definitely our social media channels are great ways to gain a deeper understanding in a more applicable or personalized way. So definitely would recommend it. And I also am available to meet with you one-on-one if you would like to have these sessions on a face-to-face basis to go over any questions, doubts, or concerns that you may have about this next journey in your life. So again, thank you all for joining me today for this presentation. It is late in the evening and you're all probably getting tired from a day of school, but well, does anyone have any questions? I am happy to just spend the next few minutes answering any questions that you may have. Feel free to send them through the chat box, and I'll just stay around for the next few minutes as maybe you have some questions marinating in your mind or just a few minutes to buffer. But if not, I do want to encourage you all to reach out to us in case any questions pop up later on, maybe after the session or as you start applying here. But yes, I'm just going to swipe back to my contact information in case you missed it. But yeah, I hope today's session was helpful. I hope the links have been useful, and I do encourage all to have these handy, as they are wonderful resources to have in case you're curious. Do we have student loans? Yes, for student loans, I can only speak from my experience. I applied for student loans through the Alberta government as well as the federal government. So as you are in Canada, I believe that you will be able to sign up for student loans through the federal Canada portion, as well as student loans through the Manitoba government. I would recommend reaching out to us regarding student loans if you are looking to apply for student loans, and we'll be able to reach out to you with further resources such as how to apply for loans. We have a lot of walkthroughs available. I don't have the links handy just yet, but if I do want to encourage you to email manitoba.recruit@ucalgary.ca, and we'll be able to share you all of the specific information and details about loans, as it will be dependent on different pieces, as well as, and there are different loans you can apply for. Is there an equivalent to U1 at UCalgary? I'm just going to Google real quick what U1 stands for. Direct entry admission office, direct entry. All of ours is, I believe U1 is direct entry to the University of Calgary, and that is for students who have not completed any post-secondary studies. For example, if you have completed 12 or more units of post-secondary studies, you will be classified as a transfer student. But normally high school students do not have any post-secondary credits, so all of our programs are direct entry, other than the they're all direct entry you're looking at. I hope that answers your question. I'm just looking at U1, direct entry admission for University of Manitoba for students who have less than 24 credits. But yeah, same thing at the University of Calgary. All of our undergraduate programs are direct entry unless you have complete post-secondary studies elsewhere. Don't apply directly to a faculty. So you're talking about like open studies, kind of no direct program that you are linked to. If I'm understanding that correctly, we do have a undeclared arts program under our Faculty of Arts, which students could apply to in order to kind of take a variety of courses before designating a specific program that they are interested in. There is a limit to how long you can be in undeclared arts before designating a specific program, but the option is definitely there. But a lot of our faculties have very general programs. For example, if you have an idea of what faculty you're interested in, whether it's arts, you can be under undeclared arts. If it's under science, we also have natural sciences, where it's also a broad-based science program where you can take different science courses without specifically designated biology, chemistry, physics, or etc. And under business, we also have the broad-based business program where you are not enrolled into accounting, finance, or anything. But at the University of Calgary, it's more so you will be applying for a program. It's just some programs under each faculty are more broad-based than others. And all of them are direct entry. I hope that can answer your question. I am actually the recruiter for international students. I'm just jumping in today, but if you are looking for more specific details about U1 or maybe your specific academic history, I would recommend reaching out to manitoba.recruit@ucalgary.ca, and our domestic team will be able to connect with you further on that if I'm not doing too good of a job here. But I do hope that that is helpful information for you. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I hope that helped. I'm not sure if anyone else has any further questions here. But if not, I do hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I do look forward to welcoming you all as future UCalgary students. And if you have any questions later on, definitely do reach out to us, and we are happy to support you throughout the entire application and admissions process here. But with that, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And yeah, hope to stay in touch. For now, goodbye, everybody.